So you graduated. Congrats! Yay for you! Now what? What next? What do I do with my life? I've had umpteen years of education and this schedule and meeting with these friends and staying up late studying, and now what do I do? Never fear, Sisser is here. I'm going to tell you how to get through all this. So, number one, first thing I want you to know that I wish somebody had told me. I've had so many people tell me, hearing their stories of post-grad life, is that you should brace yourself for a mood change. You're gonna feel different. You've had this one lifestyle that you've been living for so long, and things are different now. If you start to feel anxious about the future, if you're feeling kind of depressed because you've lost the friend group that you were around, the routine that you were in, that's normal. That's going to happen. That's, you know, that's part of growing and shifting to a new period of your life. That's part of a transition. If it does happen, then just be willing to talk about it with somebody. Chat with your friends from college about it. See how they're feeling. See what they're going through. Get support from people. Talk to the people around you. See how they felt when they graduated. Just get a sense of what's going on again. One of the best things that you can do is find a way to get grounded and get involved where you are. Don't sit alone in your house, in your apartment, in your parents' house, wherever, and just get sad about your situation, because it's not going to help move you forward. And really, that's what all of this is about, post-grad. You want to keep moving forward. So the second thing I want to remind people of is that you are not alone in all of this, and that's a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. Here's why. It's a good thing because it means you're going to be able to find other people to connect with that are in the same life situation as you. And that's something that you always need, no matter what, you know, life situation you're in. Whether you are getting married, or you're single, you're having kids, or you're having trouble having kids. Whatever is happening in your life, it's important to have somebody that's kind of going through the same thing. Maybe you have a couple people in your life that have already gone through it too that can help you get through it as well. So that's why it's good that there are other people around you that are going through the same thing, just navigating post-grad life. But the big but is that there are thousands of other people who are now looking for jobs, looking for steady jobs, and looking to start their post-grad life. And so yes, you're not alone, you've got people you can lean on, and that's going to be awesome, but it also means you're going to have some competition. Don't panic. You're going to survive. You're going to find a job. It's going to be okay. Talk with the people around you about how you're feeling. You don't want to isolate yourself. It's so important not to isolate yourself. So many people think that they're the only person that feels the way that they're feeling, and they start playing the comparison game, and it's so not worth it. It just serves to self-destruct. So don't panic. Find a way to breathe. You're going to find a way through, and it's going to be okay. Something else that's really, really important in all of this is to get yourself on a schedule. It's going to be so tempting for you to be like, I don't care, I want to sleep for the rest of the year and do a whole lot of nothing because now my summer is here. I want to go to the beach, I want to hang out with my friends, I don't want to do anything because I earned it, because I earned this time off and I'm tired. I get it, okay? I'm always tired, like forever. I don't even think it's ever gonna go away. But you gotta get off your butt at some point and realize that the rest of the world is moving on, and you have to do the same thing. If you give yourself way too much time post-grad to just like relax, then you are going to stay in that, and it's going to be really hard for you to get out of it and be productive and get on to the life that you want to live post-grad. What I would recommend is to create some sort of a schedule Have a calendar that you can like write things into, like a big calendar. I have a big desk calendar that I use that I write like all of my daily goals, I write my weekly goals in that, and that helps me to stay focused throughout the week. And it also gives me a sense of accomplishment. Like I literally go to my calendar and I check things off once I've done them, whether it's a daily task or it's a weekly task, and it feels amazing. It really feels good to see that like I made a goal for myself and I completed it in that day, or I completed it in that week. One of the other things that I would recommend is that you schedule within that time to be applying for jobs, time to be working, and also you time. A lot of people get into this kind of like funk where they're like, no, I have to work all the time. There's no time to rest, and that is ridiculous. You have to have time to rest and recuperate and to refresh your soul. So if you need to, then schedule like 15 minutes a day, hopefully more than 15 minutes a day. It is important to take care of yourself, because you can't give to the people around you, you can't give to your goals if you haven't already given to yourself in some way. But again, that's within limits and bounds, because you also need to make time to get the things done that need to be done. Okay, next. This is important. Kind of dovetailing off of what we were already talking about. Get a part-time job. If you can't snag a full-time job right off the bat, then find a part-time job that doesn't suck the life out of you, that will give you what you need to be able to pay your bills and or set aside money for when those bills start coming in, because they're going to. Which takes me right into the next thing I want to talk about. Budgeting. I bet that's a word that nobody's really talked to you about before, because they don't really teach you that in college anymore. They barely even teach it. I'm lucky they taught it where I went to high school. But trust, when Sallie Mae comes a calling, anyone who's paying on their loans now, you know that name, you're gonna wish that you had budgeted or that you had put money away. That's why a part-time job is pretty nice to have while you're looking for a job, because you're kind of taking care of the bills and planning ahead. I remember when I graduated, when I finished with grad school, I hadn't thought about any of that. I finished with school in December of a long time ago. We won't go into that. Christmas Eve, I got a call from Sallie Mae saying, your loans have come into repayment and your first payment is due like yesterday. Unbeknownst to me, sometimes when you are in grad school, you kind of go past the 6-month grace period. At least for me, this is how it worked. You go past the 6-month grace period that you typically get if you were just graduating from college, before you have to start paying your loans. So your loans sometimes will come into repayment automatically. I like bawled on the phone with Sallie Mae, and thankfully they were gracious with me and helped me figure things out. If you know nothing about budgeting, then I would strongly encourage you to talk with your parents about it, to talk with older siblings about it. Side note, be nice to the Sallie Mae people. Don't shoot the messenger. Not just Sallie Mae, but like any other loan company. The people that are on the phone with you want to help you. They're just the messenger. They are not the big bad people that are making these decisions about the interest that you're gonna pay on things. So cut them a break, let them know where you're at and what you need, and they will try to help you. Just be patient with them. But that's why it's so important to budget and to know what you're going into ahead of time. Get online and do research and find a method of budgeting that works best for you. So I'm going to put some budget templates down below if you need them. I'm going to list some links that will be helpful if you have any like questions about that kind of stuff. The next thing we should talk about is your resume. If you haven't updated your resume yet, you better get on that. You are so lucky because now you don't have to go to just like, oh, open a Word document and try and come up with a template. There are a lot of websites now that you can get these really beautiful templates that cost usually around or under $15, and they'll give you a template that includes the resume, the cover letter, and a reference list. And all you have to do is plug in your information, and you've got something that really looks good, that's very presentable, very readable, and that is something that you can feel proud of sending out to places as you are applying for jobs. So I would recommend that, not only updating your resume, but getting on LinkedIn. A lot of employers use LinkedIn to kind of like look into you a little bit. They will use social media to look into you. So if you have pictures and things on there that you don't want a future employer to see, you best get rid of them. Something you can do is point people on your resume toward your LinkedIn where you're really presenting your best self and kind of highlighting all the stuff that's on your resume that you really want people to look at. With that, it's important to know your strengths as well. That's something that's going to come up in an interview. So talk with the people around you that you trust to give you really good feedback on what your strengths are and what are some areas that you can be working on, so that in this kind of like lull between post-grad and first job, you have time to build on those strengths and cultivate growth in your areas that may be a little bit on the weaker side. And then you'll have something to present when you are in your interviews and they ask you those pointed questions about what do you consider your strengths? What would you say are your areas for growth? That is a question that they absolutely ask in interviews. If you have a full-time job, go for you. Okay, so another thing that's really important as you are finishing up your resume and you're putting your references on your little reference list is to reconnect with your references and show gratitude. Having been someone that has served as a reference for other people, I can tell you, being on this end of it, it means something when someone demonstrates to you that they appreciate what you're doing as their reference. To serve as a reference, it does take time out of your already busy schedule to either speak on the phone with a potential employer or to fill out a reference sheet for someone. And sometimes you haven't worked with that person in a couple of years, but you're still a reference for them. So it's important to let those people know that them serving as a reference matters to you, that you're thankful, and that you want to maintain and continue to cultivate that relationship with them. Most of my references now live in other cities, and so that can be difficult, but if you happen to live near the people that are your references, then take time to get a cup of coffee with them, reconnect, and help them to understand where you're at now and what your plans for the future are and how they might be able to help you along with that in some way. And again, tell them thank you. Find a way to say thank you, because it means a lot. They care about you in the first place, otherwise they wouldn't be your reference. But it's still nice to know that you're appreciated. Something else that I want to remind people of is to be flexible and be patient. Your first job out of college or out of grad school may not be your dream job. In fact, it's probably not going to be your dream job, but it may be a stepping stone. So when it comes to exploring and applying for those first jobs, don't be afraid to apply for something that's a little bit outside the box, but that might develop you in an area where you need to be developed before you can get to that dream job. So many people hit their first job and they get a couple months in and they're like, this isn't what I want, this isn't what I want to do, I hate this. I give up. Please don't give up. Please, 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 please don't give up. You never know what's going to be on the other side of that hardship in your job. Maybe a year's worth of work in this one place, or maybe a couple years down the road working in this position, it's cultivated some other skill and connected you with this other group of people. So now you're able to truly step into, and you have the skill set needed to step into your dream job. You might not want to hear this, but when you graduate from college, you don't necessarily have all of the skills in your toolbox that you need to step right into your dream job. And that's okay. You're still, flexing your little baby wings when you get out of college, and you might need some time to grow your strengths so that you really can do an amazing job when you hit that dream area of your career. So don't give up. If you're working in a hostile environment, then I would say find a way to transition out to something that's not going to be that way. But otherwise, find a way to stick to it, because then you're gonna have grit and resilience that other people around you haven't developed, and it's going to make you a better person. All the things that you want, all the things that you dreamed about while you were still in college, all the things you're dreaming about right now may not happen all at once. Please don't get discouraged. Use the time that you have to gain better direction for where you want to go in the future. Talk to people who are wiser than you. Not that you want to hear that there are people that are wiser than you, but there are people that are wiser than you. Talk to your parents, talk to your mentors, talk to former professors, talk to people that are in the field that you want to go into. Gain some insight, gain a little bit of direction. Make a pros and cons list. Make a dream job picture or inspiration board. Pray about it. Whatever is going to move you forward is what's going to be good. Limit your pity party time. I'm talking to you. I see you over there with your Facebook, Instagram, scrolling through and saying, why isn't this my life? Why don't I look like these people? Why don't I have these things yet? Your story is not their story. It's not going to unfold the same way it does for somebody else. So let that be okay, okay? It's going to come to you. If you put in the work, it's going to happen. You just have to be patient with the process. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave some really awesome links in the information box below to supplement what we just talked about. If you have any things that you wish that someone had told you, or that you learned post-grad, or that was a piece of advice that someone gave you before you graduated that was particularly helpful for you, then leave that in the comments section. That's all I've got, loves. I'll see you next time. So, keep your chin up. You're gonna make it through. It's gonna be okay. Sounded like a Newsies. You ever seen that movie? It's a good movie. It's my brother David's favorite movie. He loves Newsies. It's his favorite musical in the whole world.